Hello, my name is Josh with Lizard Wizard Reptiles. Today I wanted to go over a complete substrate guide for bearded dragons, and I wanted to show y'all some new substrates that we're using for our breeding project. Okay, so in this video we're going to be going over a bunch of different substrates that you can use for bearded dragons. This is stuff you can use if you're just now getting a new bearded dragon, or if you've had a bearded dragon for a long time and just kind of want to change up the substrate, or are starting to realize that maybe the substrate that you have them on isn't necessarily the best thing. So what I want to go over first is kind of probably your most common used substrate for bearded dragons, just across the board, especially if you're using a loose substrate. And that's going to be what I talked about in our bearded dragon care guide, which was 50% topsoil and 50% all natural play sand. Now that's going to be a good option, especially if you're not a breeder and you don't have to keep things as sanitary. That's going to be probably your best substrate, especially if you're wanting to go bioactive, if you're wanting to put plants in there, or if you're wanting to put isopods and springtails as a cleanup culture. So that's what you're going to want to do if you're going to want to go the bioactive route. Other things that I know people do is they use ceramic tile. Ceramic tile can be really good because it holds heat really well, but also just depending on what kind of aesthetic you're going for, naturalistic or not, you might not want to do that. You might want to go with the other kinds of substrate. But positives of using ceramic tile would be that it's easier to clean, especially because like if the bearded dragon goes to the bathroom there and you got to clean it up, all you got to do is grab some cleaner and some paper towels and wipe that up. But other people have also used something just such as like paper towels. You can use paper towels as a substrate for bearded dragons. This is usually what I do for hatchling bearded dragons, ones that have just hatched, because usually for them, I don't want to invest a whole bunch of money into like doing like a whole tile or mat substrate kind of thing. So I'd usually just put them on paper towels so I can quickly change them out if they, go to the bathroom on the paper towels. It's easy to just pick it up, clean it up, and put new paper towels down. But the thing that I want to talk about now is actually the new kind of substrate I've been using. So the new kind of substrate I've been using for my bearded dragons, I'll have it up on the screen here too, but I've started using it's from Zen Habitats. I've been using their reptile mats. Now in the past, like I would never say to use a reptile mat, especially not reptile carpet, because things like reptile carpet, the bearded dragons can get their claws actually caught in them, and that's not good because they might rip off claws that way. We just don't want any chance of them getting hurt. But with this reptile mat, if you look at it, you feel it, it's very it has traction on it, so they're not going to get caught and they can move across it very easily. I would say that it definitely makes it a whole lot easier to clean up after my bearded dragon. So for example, right here, my bearded dragon went to the bathroom. It's very easy for me to quickly grab some cleaner and some paper towels and wipe that up. Or if there's a worse mess, I can just pull the entire mat out and wash it. Now, the reason why I would want to be more sanitary for my purposes is because we're actually breeding bearded dragons here, and it just needs to be a clean, sanitary area, so that way there's no chance of infections for the mom and things like that. We just want to keep everything very clean when we're breeding. This is something definitely you can do for your own bearded dragon at home. I would still recommend maybe like a loose substrate like the topsoil or play sand though, if you're wanting them to be able to dig around and you want a more naturalistic look. But if you have a bearded dragon and you want easier cleanup in a more sanitary situation, this mat from Zen Habitats is definitely a good option for you, like I said, it makes it very easy to clean up. The animals get good traction on them. The only real negative to it is that they're not able to dig, but what I do for my females, especially whenever they're getting close to laying a clutch of eggs, I will put in their enclosure, it'll cover about half the enclosure, another tub in there, and I fill that with play sand and soil, so that way whenever she needs to go lay her eggs, she has a place where she can lay her eggs. Now I want to talk about, if you are planning on going with a loose substrate, what I recommend doing. So you're not going to want to go to your local pet store, because things are going to be a lot more expensive there for the exact same thing that you can get at your hardware store. But you have to make sure you're looking for the right products. So you want to make sure that your play sand is all natural play sand, and you want to make sure that the topsoil you're getting is organic topsoil, because if it's not organic, it could have pesticides and just other bad things in there that you don't want your reptile to come into contact with. So just make sure that it is organic topsoil. But yeah, you just mix those two together and you'll get basically what you would get from a mixture from the reptile store or pet store, wherever you get it from, but it's going to be a lot cheaper. Now I actually want to talk about the substrates that I don't recommend, that I really feel like people shouldn't be using for bearded dragons. And the main number one thing that I would say is actually reptile carpet. Now, the reason why I would say reptile carpet isn't a good thing to use is because bearded dragons can get their claws stuck in this, and if they get their claws stuck in it, they can sometimes rip out their fingernails, and that's not good. That's going to be a vet visit and things like that. Also, reptile carpet can harbor lots of bacteria and things that can just infect your bearded dragon, and you just don't want to deal with that. And it's not very easy to clean either. But and if you had to replace that, like say once a week or whatever, to keep the bacteria out, you're going to be spending a lot more money than some of these other options. Another kind of substrate I recommend staying away from, if you ever see a bag of sand at the reptile store that says calcium sand, do not grab calcium sand. Do not use calcium sand. It's not really exactly sure why, but it's one of the worst substrates you can use for bearded dragons. If they get any of it in their mouth, it can cause really bad impactions. Calcium sand, that was just not a good idea. So if you're gonna use sand, get all natural play sand from your local hardware store. Okay, so that was my complete guide to bearded dragon substrate. I hope you guys learned something. If y'all have any questions, leave it down in the comments below. If you made it through the entire video and you enjoyed it, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. It will really help us out, and it'll show us that people are actually enjoying the videos that we put out. If y'all like to see more about bearded dragons in the future, I do plan on one of the next few videos I'm doing is actually going to be a complete guide on bearded dragon diet, because there's a lot of misinformation out there on bearded dragon diet, and you want to make sure you're feeding your dragons, especially when they're younger. You want to make sure you're feeding them enough that they can grow properly. So if you want to see more videos like that, hit the subscribe button and come check out our next video. Thanks for watching.